Welcome to the Wednesday Warrior Wrap-Up, where we take a look at some of the awesome news and reveals of this week. First up on the Wednesday Warrior Wrap-Up, we have a look at the Transformers Hasbro teams releases this week. And Tuesday, they released 2 items. First up was the revealed at, I believe, New York Comic-Con Transformers Timelines Starscream and Optimus Prime in their feudal Japan look. This looks really awesome. I'm very excited for it. Next up, we have a look at a Transformers Generation Deluxe Age of the Primes G2 Dinobots Swoop and Sludge, I believe it is. These both kind of just came out of nowhere. I mean, there were some images popping up on forums, but there was no official, reveal or news. And then this Tuesday, they just put them up for pre-order. And then after the pre-orders went up, they posted to their social media that they were available. We did know that there was a chance of these coming out since we got, the other 2 Dinobots and Grimlock in their G2 color. So it's fun to finally have all 5 of the Dinobots, or right, 1, 2, 3, 4, yeah, all 5 of the Dinobots in their G2 colors finally, because these were figures that never got released back in the day, and now we have them, and we have them with better articulation. So I'm very excited for that. And in some Star Wars The Black Series news, most of these are reissues or just relistings of items that sold out. First up is the Star Wars The Black Series Gamer edition of General Grievous. This is the Battlefront one where he's got battle damage. Looks really cool. It is, I believe, $42.99. And then we have a look at the Star Wars The Black Series Gamer edition Republic Commandos Scorch. I'm kind of surprised they just reissued this one standalone. I'm assuming that means we'll get the other 3 reissued again also. I was kind of hoping if they ever did do a reissue of this for fans who missed it, they would just do a really cool box set of all 4 of them. Would be a really nice way for people that wanted to get all of them. But by doing them singly, if anyone only got like the last 2, because I think Scorch was one of the first, you can kind of go back and, pick and choose which ones you want. But yeah, that's really cool. And then finally, the San Diego Comic-Con, this item went for pre-order and it sold out, and now it is back up, and is that of the Star Wars The Black Series Battle of Bespin, Luke and Vader. And this set is really cool because I think this is the first time that we've gotten a wired cape on Darth Vader. And then, of course, the Bespin Luke is the kind of torn and damaged one towards the end. This is apparently a wall mountable or shelf mountable, if you're okay with putting holes in your shelves and walls, display. It's really cool looking and is available right now along with all of the other Star Wars items on Hasbro Pulse and wherever you get your fine toys. And a while back at the D23 Expo, Star Wars, Disney Star Wars products had a light speeder. I think it was 3000, which was the blue trimmed white version of the Star Tours ride. Well, for the holiday, the Star Wars holiday, I think it's Life Day, they released some items on the Disney store, and this was one of them. It is, a HasLab pricing item. I think it's like $350, but it fits your vintage collection of 3-inch figures in it. It makes lights, sounds. I think it has a screen just like the other one. It is really cool looking. I just wanted to cover it real fast here for the vintage collection fans out there. This would work for your vintage collection. And over at Mattel, specifically Masters of the Universe, a Club Grayskull item that went live is that of the Red Shadow, I believe it is. I don't know this character off the top of my head, but I think he is like a beast man kind of creature. I think he's like a baboon or something like that. I don't remember them, but they are really cool looking. It is available for Club Grayskull members right now, which is the $10, fee for being part of the club. I do not know if as of now if it's going to be released afterwards, but most times a lot of these figures, they'll be released if they don't sell out to the general public the next day or later on in the week. So keep your eyes peeled for that. I do have the link down in the description. If it does become general, the same link will work for you as it does for Club Grayskull members. And over at Super 7, something that caught my eye this week, another Reaction Plus wave has gone live for the G.I. Joe. And usually, I've been kind of good at skipping these. I'm really invested in classified. But this glow-in-the-dark, red glow-in-the-dark Snake Eyes is very tempting. I really like the glow that is red, because usually, when you get glow-in-the-dark, it's always green. We've had blue before with Super 7, but red is very interesting. It does come with part of the wave with, I think it's the Cobra Commander, the female character I'm point a blank on from the movie, And then I think it's Maya, maybe it's an M word. And then Arctic Scarlett, which hopefully we get an Arctic Scarlett and Duke to go with the rest of our classified figures, because I think this is a really cool looking Scarlett. And then of course we have something really cool. Sesame Street is doing from the Super 7 is doing their reaction blind boxes, and there is a chance of a glow-in-the-dark Elmo. So they're really trying to get me with the glow-in-the-dark this season. But yeah, really cool offerings. You can buy all the Elmos in a case. I think if you buy a solid case, you have a chance of getting the the random one. There's a special 6th one besides the glow-in-the-dark one. But yeah, there's a choice to buy all of them in one case. I don't know if you'll get all of them, but it's like 12 boxes in one case, or single ones if you want to try your luck. But yeah, really cool. And over at S.H.Figurarts over the week, they showed off that they will be doing Star Wars S.H.Figurarts for the Star Wars The Clone Wars 2008 series and movie. And I am very excited for these. The only downside is I know they're probably going to be more pricier than Black Series or any kind of figure out there right now. I really would like to get them, but I'm assuming they're probably going to be upwards of, they're going to be way more than $27.99 is what Black Series go for right now. They're probably going to be, $80, maybe even $100. So I'm kind of concerned, but this is the art style I like in 6-inch scale. We've never gotten this from Star Wars, but we've gotten them in the 3-inch 2008 series. So I'm very excited for these. Hopefully we'll get more news on them. We just know that they will be coming soon. And in some designer toy news, we have a look at the Frank Frazetta Girls and Icon Collectibles Fire and Ice Nekron. Hopefully I said that name right. And this is the kind of villain sorcerer that goes against the rest of the Fire and Ice figures that we've been getting. I think now this just leaves the one hero, the blonde guy. I feel bad I don't know their name, to kind of wrap up the main cast of characters. This just looks really cool as a figure, even if you're buying this just to kind of go with your Mythic Legions or your Conan or anything else. The throne alone is really cool. It's actually kind of crazy. I think most of these figures have been going for about $80-$90. This one is going only for $110. And I was really expecting it to be a lot more because of the throne, because when you think about that, it's only like a $20-$30 difference for the throne. Which is really, fair price for an accessory like that. Really cool looking figure overall. There's a meme online, and I can only see that when I look at it, of it's a very potty humor, but yeah, it's one of those things where now you can recreate that meme if you want to. It is a really cool figure overall. The movie is really, it's, that era of beautiful, dark fantasy art style and movies and stuff like that. And it's definitely worth a watch if you are into sword and sorcery. It is probably, for a more mature audience, but so are these figures. So really cool figure, really nice detail, and it's kind of a little mini art piece that you can put on your shelf, and I think that's really cool. And in Four Horsemen Studios news, nothing really too new, just that there are some items that are now put in the in-stock sales section. This includes the legendary Barbarian, which unfortunately sold out really fast. And that was a bit of a bummer for a lot of fans. Luckily, I was able to go to the West Coast Mythic meetup here in California and pick up myself one. But for anyone who's trying to get it who didn't have an event near them, I'm very sorry for that situation happened for you if you weren't able to get one. If you were, congratulations. I heard rumors that they didn't limit it to one per person. That could have been the reason why it sold out faster. But there's still a lot of other amazing items that went up, including the Figure Obscure, Jersey Devil. There was the Santa and the red outfit, the Saint Nick and red outfit. There was the one of the ones, the Charles Dickens, I think it is, Christmas Story figures of the Ghost of Christmas Present and Jacob Marley. I hope I said their names right. I think those are the two characters they've done so far. And then also they had some other figures. I think the Monkey King, which did sell out, and then Ganesh, I believe it was, got put into the in-stock sale. So there was just a lot of cool stuff that was in stock and available to ship now. So if you want to pick them up, link is in the description down below for what's left. I'm definitely a big fan of their Figure Obscure stuff, and now that they're doing more stuff like Jersey Devil, I hope we get other stuff like Bigfoot. And over in Blokees news, Blokees is doing some Transformers classics, I think, or classic class of Dark of the Moon Bumblebee, which looks really incredible here. It has the ability to have the battle mask or no battle mask. And then, of course, they have the Dark of the Moon Megatron, which looks incredible. I really love that they did the Lincoln Monument scene like in the cartoon and in the movie, where he's sitting in the throne when they moved the Lincoln statue. This one is really cool. Very excited for both of these. The classic class is definitely a more unique one. Of course, these don't transform, but they are really cool figures if you are a Transformers fan who, doesn't really want a Transformer that transforms, which is kind of odd, but they're more, clean and detailed. So if you were to get these two in their toy form, there would be a little bit of kibble. Whereas with this, you could have a nice smooth one to go on your shelf that doesn't have any of the extra kibble. And in Boss Fight Studios news, they've been going quite a bit when it comes to new reveals that have been awesome this last couple of weeks. We have a look at 2 new epic H.A.C.K.S ones, which are their 1/12 scale ones with Frankenstein's creature, which looks incredible. I love the accessories that come with it. We've been getting a lot of Frankenstein figures this year with the more, classic look from, Four Horsemen Studios and some other companies. And this one just looks really incredible. And then we have a look at, I want to say, the combat drone. I know there's other parts to it, but it looks really awesome. Lots of cool accessories. You can get, different looks out of it. You can get more like a Micronauts look to a, Terminator look. It's really cool. And then finally, we have a look at their, 5.5 inch, I think, kind of like the Masters of the Universe Origins line. They did Conan and Red Sonja, and now they're doing Hellboy, which just looks really cool. This is a very exciting one. They are, I think, about $30, so they're about $10 more than, the Masters of the Universe Origins, but, you're getting something that is really cool. That's with a license I would not ever have thought to see in this scale and in this design, so it's really awesome. I believe all 3 of these are available right now for pre-order on BBTS and Entertainment Earth if you want to pick them up. I think they're also available on the Boss Fight Studios website. And oh boy, in Mezco toy news, I was surprised by this. I think we knew this was coming, but I was not expecting it to come a week, I think, after the Hulk one did. The Leader went up for pre-order today. So if you pre-ordered that Hulk, I think it was last week that we talked about it, now you can pre-order one of his villains, the Leader. I'm wondering if this means we might see an Abomination soon. I don't think they ever announced an Abomination, but I do believe we've gotten an announcement for Leader and the Hulk. So they are both now officially available. I'm sure they told us they were coming out at the same time during the fall, but I was kind of surprised to see it because I think it was yesterday they announced it, and then it went up for pre-order today. It has a lot of amazing accessories. It's got, his mind control kind of crown thing. It's got some cool like weapons, and of course all the other amazing hands and heads that they usually come with, so you can have alternate facial expressions and different hand poses. And then of course the base. Mezco always does an amazing job with soft goods. There are some fans say the textures don't look quite right, but I feel like this one is doing pretty good for the character. And if you missed out on the Marvel Legends one, this is a great chance for you to get one. It's just a lot more, I think it's like $120 almost. A little bit less than that, so it is more expensive than a Marvel Legends one, but it is a really cool looking figure. And comics this week we think look incredible. First up is Spider-Man Holiday Spectacular. They do this every year, I believe, for the last 2 or 3 years, where Spider-Man is trying to find a group of friends to hang out with for the holidays. And so he'll have interactions with Daredevil, the Fantastic Four, the Avengers, the X-Men, and kind of just be, a bit of a nuisance for those teams during the holidays, as the webhead is sometimes. This is available, of course, this week, I think. And then next up, we have a look at Batman and Deadpool, or Deadpool and Batman. This is the ongoing comic where Deadpool and Batman's kind of are doing stuff together, and they're villains and stuff like that. It's really fun looking, and it's a really fun read. And then finally, we have a look at The Lion King from, I think it's Dynamite Comics, #1. And it is really cool looking. I love the cover art here. Really fun and exciting, kind of, takes you back to the Lion King movie. These are the 3 comics I thought looked amazing this week, but like always, go to your local comic shop, pick up what's ever in the saver, see what's new this week. There's always something exciting to read, and have a wonderful week of reading when it comes to comics. And this week in our Creative Corner, we have a look at a very talented toy artist with that of at SWAD Customs on Instagram. That is Star Wars Art Design Customs. And their work is very incredible. We have a look at some of it here that popped out to me. There's a lot to look at. First up, we have a look at a Imperial base that looks really cool. There's 2 different photos for 2 different sets. There's a really cool Rebel base, a Cobra outpost kind of tower, and just a lot of amazing play sets that they designed and customized and everything like that, from pre-existing stuff to custom kit bashing. Then they have a look at we have a look at a really cool, is it an advanced TIE fighter, or I always forget the name of it, the one with the pointer wings. They painted really nicely. And then of course this really cool AT-AT. They do post in their description that they like Star Wars, Aliens, and Tron, so you can kind of see that look there when it comes to the Tron version of an AT-AT in a way. I just love the blacks and reds on an AT-AT. I never realized how cool that looked. But yeah, lots of amazing custom play sets and vehicles that the figures can go in and kind of play. It's really awesome work. So definitely go give them a follow if you're a fan of custom figures and Star Wars and Tron and Aliens. Give them the likes, the love, the support. Share it with any of your friends. The link, like I said, is in the description down below to go follow them. There's just a lot of amazing work there. Very talented customizer. And that about wraps it up. Thanks for stopping by. If you have any comments, leave them in the comment section. If you're feeling generous, share it. And thank you so much for watching. Till next time, bye.